going on, guys? My name is Ty, and I have Gabby here with me, and Tristan.
Hello.
Oh my gosh,
Yay.
he's back. So we have Tristan now. So obviously you can see us again. I'm actually wearing white-ish.
There's color in there.
White.
Get it?
I don't know what it looks like on the screen though.
I would die if you came in with like a bright neon, like yellow.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
Oh, my eyes.
Challenge accepted. So anyways, we are Weddings Made Perfect podcast. We're an unscripted podcast.
Obviously.
Anything goes.
Unscripted.
Anything goes and the points don't matter. So that's been
sounds like the points might matter later.
5,000 points for you, sir.
Back on the board.
Negative 30 points for Gabby because she didn't appreciate my.
That's cool.
Negative 30. That's a drop in the bucket. She's like 10,000.
Yeah, I know. She has some points.
I believe I have 1 million plus.
You were correct. Plus 2 million more.
Oh my.
Okay, guys, we're Weddings Made Perfect podcast. You can email us at weddingsmadeperfectpodcast@gmail.com. I sound like crap because I have allergies and we live in the Midwest, so I apologize for my sniffles throughout this whole podcast. But hey, anything goes and the points don't matter, right?
Oh my gosh.
Last year was Cold Stone. This year is points.
That joke's going to get old really quickly.
So anyways, so we have some cool topics today. Pretty much the layout is going to be Gabby's tip, and then we're going to go through 2 topics that we have coming up, and then also we'll end it with something fun because that's what I like, is some funsies moments. I have a cool Ty's trivia. So Gabby's right now is undefeated, even though she did it last week by herself. But it's going to be Tristan versus Gabby, and we'll see what happens. So I'm excited for it. But other than that, I will pass it to Gabby.
Okay, guys, this could be very helpful for Tristan right now because I feel like he's right around this area of planning. You've got your when is the date that people need to have their RSVPs in for you?
I've put it at 2 months before just so I can have enough time.
Okay.
So I've got it in August for my October date.
Ooh, it's crazy that is coming up. Yep. Can you believe that?
It's not far.
Oh my gosh. So this, I found that's statistics. I think it's a correct statistic, but basically the tip for today is to prepare for rejection. Know that as a rule, about 10 to 20% of the people that you invite are not going to attend. So I've actually never heard that before. I don't know if you guys have heard that before, but I mean, I kind of, obviously it depends on, if you're doing a destination wedding, obviously that number might be a little bit higher. If you shoot for more people and, you expect them to pay for travel and all that good stuff. But you got a local wedding, you plan, give people time for sure to save the date, RSVP in. But with that said, you should be looking at about 10 to 20% falling off that list.
Why is that a bad thing? I'm just out of
curiosity. It's not a bad thing. It's just easier. I just think it's really important to know if you're budgeting and your margins are maybe a little tighter to be able to say we invited 250, but we're really kind of probably looking more like
that makes sense.
230, 235.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'd rather have people not show up than like a crap ton of people.
That can happen too.
So that's
what a nightmare.
that's my thing is like I'd rather less people than more people.
Absolutely.
It was funny because there's this like couple that of course TikTok, but there's a couple that like they brought up some taboo moments of like excited to see the angry emails and phone calls after we tell them, and then they went on like a couple like rants of like what they're doing differently, and like one is like not allowing +1s at all and then
hey, it's your day. You just
list.
Can't be surprised when nobody wants to come.
Dress codes and stuff like that.
Oh,
But
yeah,
my thing is this is with +1s is
That'd be fun episode.
There's a difference between knowing somebody's significant other. That is, I don't count that as a +1. If you have a relationship with that person,
this is a hotly debated topic.
So what is considered a +1 to you?
Exactly. What is considered a +1? I mean, in my opinion, I think that if you're going to say you can have plus ones, you have to give a green light to anybody that wants to bring one. That's my opinion.
Okay, but what is a plus one? Like
Plus one is if you only know this person, you're not addressing whoever their plus one is, then they have a plus one. That is a plus one in my opinion. If you title your letter to Tristan and Emma. Tristan and Emma are welcome to my wedding. I don't know Emma that well, but I like Tristan a lot and I want both of them to show, then to me that's not a plus one. If I've addressed them both, they're both counted for on the guest list. It doesn't say Tristan plus one. It says Tristan and Emma next to each other. I don't consider that a plus one. That's where my line is.
So, but what I'm trying to say though is if you have a best friend who is dating this guy that they've been dating for a couple years, would you not invite him as well?
Of course I would. That would be a double name for me.
So therefore,
not a plus
that's
one.
that's her plus one though. That's her additional person that she's bringing, or the vice versa. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I see what you're trying
like,
to
You're
say.
still accounting
so
for 2
you're
people
so
showing up.
a plus one to me is a complete stranger you don't know.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
I would not want that.
Okay.
Why would I have somebody come into my wedding that I have no relevance to them whatsoever?
See, I respect that.
But
But
maybe that's
where
how you get
people
that
where
person,
people are going to get dicey is when they say when your cousin who's been dating, who's 15 has been dating Samantha for 3 months. Well, Ty, you know her, it's Samantha, but she's still pretty much a stranger to you. So are you letting him bring
If
Samantha?
I know
or
of
no?
that significant, like, so what I'm trying to say is if I know that person, like, for example, my brother, his girlfriend, I know her. She is invited to the wedding.
Right.
That is his plus one. That is a person that he's bringing. Okay.
See, I guess we have different definitions then.
If my divorced uncle don't know who he's dating, I invite him only.
Mm-hmm.
I expect him only to show up.
Right. So you haven't given him the option of a plus
Yeah,
one.
so that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So for me, the definition is like if it's somebody that I know, because like if I don't know their names but I know of them, or like I just don't have a significance whatsoever, I will be like, hey, Tristan, you're invited. I'm just gonna say, Tristan, you're invited, or
Yes.
Gabby, you're invited.
Right.
I'm expected to see Garrett, and I'm expected to see Emma. I'm expecting them to show up regardless.
Right.
I don't feel like I have an obligation to be like, hey, I need you. Here's an invite for Garrett, and here's an invite for you. Here's an invite for you, but I know that Garrett's coming.
Gotcha.
So I'm not gonna get mad.
It would say Gabrielle Taylor plus one
Yeah.
on my invitation,
honestly,
or would you spell it out?
I would probably put Garrett because respectfully, I would want Garrett to show up. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But like it's significantly, if I know that person or know someone, I just feel like, yeah, it's very dicey, and it is a very, like, once again, taboo situation. But it's definitely like I feel,
Nobody wants to show up to the party by themselves. So
Yeah.
you expect them to
Right,
most
and that's
likely
the
bring
thing is
someone.
that's totally fine. You see it that way, but maybe that uncle that is like, I don't want to show up alone. He's probably not going to come, which is fine. That's his prerogative and your prerogative.
Yeah.
You just can't get, like, it's funny to me where you see on social media like, oh my God, I can't believe they're not coming. It's like, well,
right, but then
you
can't get mad
spelled it
about
out, which is fine, but they have their boundaries too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No,
I think it's weird though. That's an area where it's, in my opinion, it's not always black and white. Sometimes it's
Like, I'm not gonna go to a 5-hour function by myself.
exactly.
I mean, that's what
Free
it is.
food
I mean,
or
my
not.
thing is it's because I had the situation too, and at the time I didn't understand it, but then when I went there, I truly understood. I understood it, and this is when I swapped my situation. I was 18 years old. It was my mentor that taught me how to shoot films. His name was Landon, and he invited me to the wedding, but he said, for me specifically, no plus one, meaning like we just want you to come.
Right.
And at the time, of course, I am in a serious relationship with my ex before Sarah, and I was like, that's weird. I was like, it doesn't make sense to me, but okay. But then when I went there, and he had a speech where he's like, everybody that is here for a reason. These are the people that I honor, and I truly want to spend my time with these people only in this realm. And this is a special moment that I want to share with only you guys. And immediately it switched my whole thought of weddings, of like, it is a gathering of people that have impacted your life throughout X, Y, and Z. And that's when immediately I was like, this is I get this now. And so for me, inviting people, I'm inviting those people that only had a huge moment in my life, or they have a significance in it. And so that's why I have that strong, I guess, opinion on it.
Yeah.
Which obviously I guess I am more in the taboo-ish way of like, no, it like.
Well, and it's funny. I don't think that that's the case anymore. I think COVID, you hear about this a million times, but with the intimate gatherings, you find out who's really important to you. But I think that some people don't always really care about that. Some people are more in it for like the party aspect, which I would say that I am, but it might contribute that I'm having a separate ceremony with people that I know are really close to me. And then that kind of just cocktail dance party where I could care less if somebody brings somebody I don't know, you know what I mean? But then I also see how it's like, you know, if it's that one magical day for you, why would you want somebody there that you really don't know?
At the end of the day, it's up to you. Just be clear and set your expectations reasonably.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stay consistent. That's my key.
I guess just be prepared for rejection. I guess that's what it is.
Be prepared.
I guess that's what it is, which honestly I don't mind, because I know our list, what we've like listed at, it's 150 people we're inviting. I guarantee you only like 109 people will show up, because there's a lot of those people. I'm not giving them a +1, and I do not care.
Yeah.
So
for all you +1s out there,
I just do not care. So I'm just being blunt, because it's like, I want you there. I don't care about anybody else. So
stay consistent.
So yeah, but
sounds like you will.
it's mine. So
awesome.
I just thought it was cool. But I do like that tip though.
Thank you.
It is nice. But we definitely are going to the topic of wedding timelines, what to do, what not to do, how to form it, stuff like that. We did actually have a podcast previous that actually stated this, but we did it more of like an educational purposes of doing it. Now what we're going to do is kind of just go through theories of how Gabby has planned out timelines as well, but also like with Tristan and I having to deal with timelines not working, or we're ahead of the schedule or maybe behind the schedule. We're just going to give experience and try to figure out like what it is. So I'm going to pass it to one of you guys and see what we want to talk about with it.
Well, I'm curious, Tristan, what have you guys really sat down and kind of nailed down your timeline yet, or are you not quite there yet?
So yes and no. Having gone through a number of weddings myself, and with the timelines modeled, it's always been an indie events timeline that's been passed down. That's what I'm used to. Or if it's my own personal wedding that I'm filming for my own client, it's the photographer that will put it together for us. So having all that in mind, I know I had an idea of what I wanted it to look like ahead of time, how that fits in like hourly, half hourly, whatever, that'll flux. But
are you doing first look?
Yes, and I would recommend it if you haven't decided already.
Seriously, to me that's one of my first questions. If I sit down with a new client or a bride that's just like hasn't really sat down and nailed everything down yet, that's my first question, because that's what switches everything around.
At that point, you think like, okay, if you're not doing a first look, you can't see each other for the first half,
right? And
so
many things that you need to get done together can't get done
for the photo and video side. It makes it a little bit more tricky having to dodge and play and mess around with making sure you don't see each other if you're in the same spot getting ready or meeting up at the venue. The
whole almost atmosphere is different because everybody's kind of got their, nervous. The photographer's nervous he's not going to get every shot he needs. Videographer's nervous that the photographer won't get everything, and then they can't even step in and get anything. And the coordinator's nervous the whole thing's going to be behind. It's just you can do it. Just know that you need to build in a ton of time in the middle there. Yeah. But anyways,
I will say for me as planning my own wedding and being on the other side of that, The venue kind of spoke for us first on that, just based on when we would have had access to the venue in the first place. So that'll kind of dictate when we can get there and how much time we have to get ready. If we're going to get ready there, how early, and when the ceremony needs to happen. Because we're doing it at a wine garden, so they'll have day hours that we have to adhere to. So we can't be there up until like 3 p.m. I think is the soonest that we can like get there.
Absolutely. Oh, I think we're on the same thing. Because we're doing a Friday.
And it won't change for us too much, because I mean that's probably when we wanted to start getting stuff there and getting ready in the first place. But then after that, it's all on location for us. We don't intend on going anywhere else, so the timeline is pretty easy for us since we don't have to include travel time for any of that. So.
Perfect.
I don't know if that's kind of getting popular now, is doing a single location so they don't have to.
Yeah.
You can maximize your time in that single location and not have to.
Weddings.
Because we were just talking about this when we were driving down St. Louis, because we passed a certain event. I was like, oh, this is where we shot like one of my like very first weddings, and I realized we were start thinking about the timeline while we were driving to the show that we were going to, and we started at the St. Charles that flower place, the conservatory place off of Main Street.
Oh yeah,
the flower place. We started there. I remember that, and then but they did Andre's out in like Oakville.
Wow.
And so, which obviously is like almost like a 35-40 minute drive. But then like in between they were doing like other things. And I just remember we were like an hour or something behind on certain things. And I'm just like, there's so many weddings that I remember where we've had like a ceremony at this one place, but then like the receptions are like far, and it never really made sense to me. And I want to know if it's kind of going into that situation with doing it in a single location. And also I've realized, especially for the show that I was at, they kept talking about reception more as like a cocktail night party as opposed to like a reception. It's kind of getting it more into like a party feel. And so they're saying like that's kind of the newer thing that's happening, is people are wanting more of like a cocktail-y night as opposed to this is a reception, kind of what you're doing, where it's like hors d'oeuvres and
trendsetter.
So you're innovative for that.
Trailblazing.
So, but I kind of want to go back real quick on one subject you're talking about with the first look. So Sarah was actually really avid on like, my first time seeing her was her walking down the aisle in the ceremony. But then after, when she has seen first looks and also first looks videos, but also realizing that it works better than timeline, she's actually switched her idea where she wants to do a first look. So
I really truly hate breaking brides' hearts, because it's just that thing that's like so built into you. Like, I mean, at least as a female, I feel like they always talk about that like special moment where you turn the corner, and like that's all you hear about and that's all you think you want until you sit down, and then it's like, oh man, like I would still want that, but like it's obviously far better to do it this way.
It is, but you're still getting the same outcome. And honestly, I think it's just more intimate and more.
So do I.
More
I totally
special.
agree, because when you're walking down the aisle, you have to be composed. Like you can't just be like, oh my gosh, like, hi, you look amazing. It's so good to see you. All those things that you want to say, but you have to be like, oh yeah, like we're getting married right now. Can do that later, I guess. Yeah. I saw this video the other day that made me laugh. The bride got walked down by her dad, and then the soon-to-be husband walked out and like shook the dad's hand and took her, and they almost just like shared a kiss like real quick, and then they're like, oh wait, no, and they like swerved like went up there, because you're not supposed to do that, but it just cracked me up.
That was awesome. No, but I don't know, maximizing everything has just always been like my key thing. But I do agree with that, and that's what we're also doing as well, is we want to stay in one singular location. And I think that's the best for just the timeline in general.
It makes a lot of sense. You don't leave so much room for error, and if you're driving separately, then you have to wait for X amount
Yeah.
of cars to show
And your
up at the same
guests
time,
don't have to
and-
wait for you to do all the stuff that you didn't do earlier. That's
Yeah.
another big ticket item
Yep.
for me. You get to maximize your reception as much as you
Mhm.
maximize your time for the day.
I want to know if that's why the big hotels with the grand balls and stuff are super popular, is because when you have a lot of family that come in out of state, they just all, anchor down at that hotel, and then they can literally just go, right down
Exactly.
to whatever level it is, and then they go hang out, party, whatever, until 11:30 midnight, and then they just shoot back up to the rooms.
Well, it's another thing you don't think about on the end of like packing and lugging around all your crap. Like some
Yeah.
people don't plan to have the same hotel room that they want to have the night before the wedding as
Sure.
well. So then they have to bring all the, like, who brings those suitcases where they need to be? Are they just hanging out in the car all day? What happens if you need the hairbrush out of the bottom suitcase in the car? It's just like so many things that don't like cross your mind until you really sit down and start doing it, that like that could be super helpful.
I don't know about you, but what I've noticed is a lot of the times, to answer that,
Mhm.
is mostly when you're doing a wedding that has a bridal suite at a hotel, that suite is actually the bride and groom suite the night for that night.
Right.
And
But you see all the bridesmaids crap.
so they're doing
everywhere.
that, but then as they're cleaning up, they're like, all right, let's bring our suitcases in, and like, so they're trying to swap it right before. So
Mhm.
that's how, when it comes to the point of them coming in to the room and to enjoy it, it's hopefully clean by
Yeah.
then. So
Yeah.
I just think it's funny because
Ah.
I don't know if I would like that now, because like, what if I just like open up and everything is just, it's still just like cluttered with like mimosas.
Oh
and,
yeah. Well, that's
Oh my-
that's the problem though. I had
like
a bride.
stale muffins on the
No.
table.
She had the best suite. It had this like fat
Yeah.
suite with like a dining table and all the stuff. But I mean, everything was everywhere. There was clothing and makeup on every surface of this place. You could not even
Oh,
sit
yeah.
down. And I'm just like, who
Into a
is
lot.
cleaning this
Mhm.
up? They
Yep.
started, obviously I'm like looking at my clock. I'm like, we need to go. And
Yep.
they're like, oh, okay, you guys go. I'll stay. And like one chick stayed back to start cleaning all
Yep.
this crap up.
No, it's crazy. You just need a whole other team for that.
But yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely interesting, and I mean, like, for so far this year, like, how has it been for you with timelines?
Yeah, so aside from the vendor or our venue setting up the basis of what we're going to use for our timeline for ceremony start time to when do we need to be out and when can we be there, aside from that, we haven't really put too much thought on it. I know the order of things where I want things to fit in, of course. That hasn't really changed based on vendors or anything outside of that currently. The only thing that I can see maybe changing is like when I would arrive, because I will be getting ready at a different location, but she'll have access to their bridal suite
Nice.
on location. But still, that's probably the only thing that's really up in the air that might need to be settled down sooner
Sure.
than later. As far as figuring out everything else is concerned, it's pretty loose right now, which is probably going to stay like that until we can sit down together again.
Yeah,
figure
nail it
out.
down.
Yeah.
For sure. It's almost not worth it to do it so far in advance
Yeah.
until all those little things are together.
Mhm.
And then it'll change again 3 times. I mean, I have a bride this weekend and we've got 2 timelines in case it rains, because
Right,
if it
right.
rains, the entire thing switches around once
Wow.
again. So,
That's insane.
I pray for
Yeah.
me. It's 85% chance of storms
Sure.
on Saturday too,
Yeah.
which is great.
It's spring.
Actually, my
Ah.
bride yesterday on Sunday, she was scheduled to have an outdoor wedding at the water's edge.
Hmm.
But of course, it rained like 10 minutes at a time, took a 5-minute break, and then kept raining it. So they
Yeah.
did have to flop over all of the inside, which wasn't a huge deal. I think it only changed maybe when I got there because they had a little more time to get ready, and it just affected like when they could show up and stuff because they hadn't put everything out yet. So it was all done that day, or rather, it just kept everything inside.
Where'd you guys get formals done?
Formal's done, so we ended up staying inside on the ceremony spot, kind of while they were flipping the room, because they had the ceremony space inside of the reception space just closed off by dividers,
Cool.
by wall dividers. So it
Yeah.
was really easy just to.
Those are
let the
really
tables come
great
through.
for that reason alone.
It was just a little crazy because they had 2 huge families and stuff. But aside from that, we did get a little break and like go out towards the ceremony location and out on towards the golf areas.
Oh,
in
perfect.
that spot. So we kind of made it work
Awesome.
with the whole bridal
Nice.
party after that.
Awesome.
No, that's definitely cool. For you shooting though,
Yeah.
has there been any like weird experiences that you've had so far this year?
Honestly, and this is probably where this is where I'm going to drive the conversation. Whenever the timeline doesn't adhere or doesn't go right, or there is a soft timeline the day of, but you really needed to have something hard, fast, and set in stone, at least a little bit as a basis, but only whenever things don't go right or we're an hour late and suddenly you have to push everything, and then that's whenever it gets kind of hectic, crazy, obviously. But aside from that, most of my weddings, my personal weddings, have also had the photographer make the timeline, coordinators made the timeline, so it's all been pretty on the course right now.
That's good.
Me. Yeah.
That's good.
Like, so when you like start getting behind, like, what is your thought? So I want to like kind of like just pick your brain on things because I just want to make sure I like hear what you say before I have like what I want to talk about with it being behind. What is your thought process like immediately when you're just like you look at your clock and you're just like, oh crap, we're like 45 minutes behind on like what needs to be done. What are you like? What are you start thinking? Like, are you trying to eliminate things? Are you trying to capture the most important stuff? And then if you have time at the end, are you coming back to those? Like, well, how are you like problem solving these situations and scenarios when it kind of arise?
Yeah. So for me, I've been shooting wings for a little bit now. I've come to terms with being flexible and being able to be okay with things out of my control, schedule-wise. But with that being said, depending on when in the day we get behind, that will really affect what I decide I need to make up or not.
Yeah.
If it's in the getting ready spot and the bride's not even in a dress and it's an hour till ceremony time.
Oh.
Okay, I'm not going to get anything extra with just her, or we'll have to wait until after the ceremony, after formals and stuff.
Yeah.
And if there's not time for that, maybe we'll try to work something out just before the reception. Because usually they'll go on like their mobile shoot with the whole wedding party, or just the two of them will have some time, and that's probably where we'll end up sacrificing some of the time there and kind of make up with my photographer or whoever I'm shooting with there to kind of help get the shots that we might have missed, and it'll just be in the same location as the the bridal party stuff.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world. I would love the shot variety,
Yeah.
but I can't have everything.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Absolutely.
But as soon as up until reception time, anything before that, I'm thinking we're gonna get it done just before the reception. We're gonna get it done maybe just before the ceremony, just after the ceremony. If it's just the bridal party needs stuff, like I need groomsmen or I just need bridesmaids, and then when they're doing family stuff, I'll take them aside, get some extra stuff, and call it good there. It really just depends on when things kind of start to get out of hand. Normally, if it's up to me, I'll do it like that. But if the photographer has a better idea or has a plan that they want to fit it in, or if we're going to a different location, maybe we don't spend as long there. We just focus on the essential stuff, get it done, or I'll defer to the coordinator to see if they have a plan for it and where we can get some time from.
Yeah.
No,
More than likely, it'll be anything before the reception, and then we'll just eat out when the reception time comes in with the grand entrance.
Awesome. So that's pretty much what I would do in general. I just I don't get stressed, which is weird because immediately people are like, "Oh, you're putting a front face of just the factor of like something's going wrong." I'm like, no, I honestly don't care if we're behind because regardless, it evens out at the end, and like with the exception of like things that are getting done on the proper time, like meaning like ceremony and cake cutting, dances and stuff like that. Like I totally get that they need to be structured on the proper end of things like that. But for me, on my end, to get stuff for the video, the timeline does not.
It's much less stressful and time
it's not
oriented.
I like to me, for us, timelines are basically just like a base of like what it should
It's
happen.
a guideline.
Yeah.
And it's more like these are what's happening around this time, but it never is
I
happening.
wish.
So as
Timelines are my. Oh,
as a director like you
Yes.
and has you doing it,
yes.
I totally get it that the time is very important.
It's stressful.
For me, I don't care when
Yeah,
it happens.
I know
like,
you don't.
like it's
When
I-
a bride
I
is
get it.
when a bride is not in her dress and she should have been in her
Yeah.
dress 20 minutes ago, I'm losing my
Oh yeah,
mind.
and so I mean yeah, it's upsetting because sometimes there are moments where we may get pushed a little bit more, where we have to get something if it's significant, but normally,
Ugh. I've had limo drivers very upset with me, aka the bride who was not ready yet. I've had caterers livid. Catering is so important when it comes to timeline because obviously they're back there juggling as many things as I am, trying to get those ready on time. And then DJs, you have to fill them in on every event that's about to happen just as much as anybody else, and everything's got to be cute at the same time.
Mhm.
Oh, it's so stressful.
yeah, and so I'm like with them. Let's say dress is 45 minutes late for some reason.
Oh my god.
And
That sets the tone for the entire day.
yeah, dress is late for 45 minutes. So obviously we can't get any dress shots. So immediately I'll come up to her and be like, I understand your dress is running late. Totally feel you right now with what's happening. What we can do is, because this is setting us back for the ceremony, is after the ceremony, I will take literally 5-10 minutes and capture you in the dress, and we can mock it as if you're putting it on, and then you're still going to get the same outcome. It's going to still look great, but I'm going to let you know that we're going to just put a pause and put a little note on this situation. So that's how you're not as stressed. So that's how when you get it, you just pop into your dress, we go to the ceremony, do the ceremony. At the ceremony, we can start knocking out, about a 5-10 minute session of your dress. And boom, they're always happy knowing that they're getting it regardless.
Yeah.
So for me, those are easy to like, those are quick.
Mhm.
Like we
Yeah.
could fix it.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, as long as you give options, I feel like there's no way it can go wrong.
Yeah.
Because she can even be like, "No, I really don't care that much.
Yeah, and
Don't
then-
even worry about
then
it." And then you're
immediately-
like, "Great,
Yeah.
moving on."
Even then with those, I still try to capture just a bit just in case. But
Yeah.
they.
Because you're smart. Because you've been in the business for a long time.
Oh yes. When somebody goes,
No, I don't want that. You're like, no, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, no, I immediately, to me, that's a yes. That means like it's a no now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
2 weeks later when you get that video
Yeah.
and you don't see it, you're gonna be like, "Where's this?" And then I'm gonna be the idiot going, "Well, you remember when you
Yeah.
said?" And she's gonna be like, "No, I'm always right." And I'm like, "Yeah, you are right." So I've learned. I've definitely learned. So
I will say if there was
make sure I get
a
it.
part of the day that does get hairy real quick as far as the time concern is that getting ready stuff, whether it be
Ugh.
people not showing up or
Yes.
hair and makeup is running
Mhm.
late or
Oh.
mom's not ready for us to be ready
Yeah.
or dad
Yeah.
can't be found for a first look.
100%.
Then, there's so many emotions going on that morning.
So I have a question for you. So
Yes.
I added for his side. For your side, it's going to be, so I got the worst, but now let me do the best. For you, what is the ideal, like, perfect situation / timeline that you would say that it is like, if this could happen for any of our listeners
Mhm.
that are currently booking or like trying to plan something out,
Yeah.
what is the best timeline you think would work universally for everybody?
Well, we just said, and I think there's a few factors that go into that. So first and foremost, if you have one location for the entire day, you are setting yourself up for success immediately, because as long as you have everything in that place, everything will happen on time, most likely, unless you're crazy late on your makeup. Please don't do that. Next, if you have your ceremony and your reception a little bit later in the day, and if you do a first look. So if you do all those things, you're obviously going to start off, you're going to have probably, I mean, if you can get into your venue by 9 or 10, you've got 10 to about 2 to get ready. That's 4 hours for you to do whatever you want. And then about that time, if you got your your ceremony starting at, let's even say 4:35, you're going to have those 2 to 3 hours to get everything you need from first look, bridal party, formals, even family formals. If you can have your family get there early, that's amazing. Because what that means is I tell this to all my brides. I'm like, if you can do those things, then in between your ceremony and your reception, I can sneak in 30 minutes where you two, if you would like, can have, I stole this idea from you, can have 30 minutes to yourself with a bottle of your favorite liquor or whatever you want on your own, and no one will bother you. And they're always like, are you serious? You can do that? Like, yes, I can make that happen for you. I can make that happen for you. And yeah, so I mean, I think those things. And then the beauty of that is once the ceremony comes, you have taken care of all your business already. All your stressful business is taken care of. All you have to do is get up there and say I do, and then you roll right into cocktail hour. If that means more photos, you want more photos, great. You've got plenty of time to get additional photos. If you want to hang out with your guests, the people you invited there, you have all that time now. You can do whatever you want. That's my ideal.
And that's why Sarah and I have are deciding to do that elopement on our stay. So that's how when that day comes, we'll get the formality with our actual like bridal party, stuff like that. But I'm telling you, once I step in that reception, you better not ask me to do video. You better not ask me to do photo, because like I am there to enjoy. Like I said, I'm inviting people that I want there. I want to spend time with them.
It shouldn't feel like a running production. It should stop feeling like a production at some point.
I want to enjoy my time with everybody. And like I even told both of you guys is like I'm the dancer. I will be literally on that dance floor from like beginning to end. Like I want to enjoy my time. Like I love that. Like that's just who I am. And I
think that's the key of what drove me away from even like seated dinner and all that other stuff that comes along with it, because I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want it to be an all day expecting me to do this and be there and blah blah blah.
Obviously people are going to that, because that's what I said is because we were because the show that we went to yesterday, which we're going to hit on in a couple of minutes because I have a couple of things about it. All the venues that were there, they were trying to explain the new, and the new was like the cocktail nightclub feel, and then especially the DJs were even talking about that, and it's where it's like it's more just you're kind of going there, and it's more just like in a cocktail attire, like it's a night out type of situation where it's more just that casual, formal. You have definitely just a bar, some little hors d'oeuvres, finger food action, and then just music from beginning to end.
I was gonna say music, because like we're not going for a nightclub, but we're having a band, so it's gonna be like that different kind of like,
and like no productions. Like they were talking about how they were able to do it where it's a nice transition where like you're just dancing, having fun, and there's that one moment where there's like, hey guys, just real quick, we're taking a quick break. What we're doing is the first dance of the bride and groom. Celebrate them, just enjoy it. Like here it is right here. Okay, here we go. And then they just do it like that.
That's where I'm kind of like, ooh, I don't know how that's really going to work for me, because I've never done an event like this. I'm just playing it for myself.
There's a way to transition it.
Yeah, is it going to be weird? Is it going to be like, oh wow, like everybody's got to shush now?
Well, it's just like, it's just one of those moments of like, have you ever been to a bar or something and they had to do like an announcement or something, like they just transition into and going, hey guys, just letting you guys know like this is who we are, blah blah blah.
And it is kind of weird because I want it to almost flow like from a cocktail hour where it is very cocktail like. It's got that like Sinatra vibe or whatever, and just kind of toned down so people can conversate. But then like, is that where I go, okay, let's do first dance and then open the dance floor up into that more fun music, or like I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I think
what you could do is when your thing starts, I feel like you are allowed to have just music. If people want to dance at that point in time, they can. But the thing is like if you have music just playing, just kind of cocktaily feel, and if it feels like a night out the whole time, like 45 an hour inside that moment, if you have your lead singer going, hey guys, real fast, what we're going to do is the very first dance with Gabby and Garrett. Guys come up, we're going to do this. And then they do their whatever. You guys have fun. And then all of a sudden they'll be like, all right, now we're open up to dance. So, you know, like, or they don't even have to open up to dance. They just go right into another song, and then people will just dance if they want to or not. I think if you limit out those weird, awkward, like, pauses, and if it's transitioned well, it will feel like it's just a night out. Like, Garrett requested a song for you and then asked you to dance. Like, that's all it is. It's if you make it have that more of a feel as opposed to a reception feel, then because like I think, which honestly I think our next podcast should be this, is what's the difference between like a cocktail night feel and then a produced reception.
I was almost gonna say it's almost like a gala.
Like it's
You know
that's what I'm saying,
like,
is like it, I think of the reception, and I think that's also where we hit that tradition feel, is what defines that tradition of a reception. And I think the tradition of a reception is you have those timelines, you have it like it's like a production. It's at 6 o'clock we do the cake cutting, at 6:15 dad's coming to do a welcome toast, at 6:20 best man's gonna have a speech, at 6:25 we're going to have the major of honor, at 6:30
you
we're
are
gonna do,
stressing me out.
like that's what I'm saying is like, and they only get 5 minutes to speak, and if it goes 5 minutes, we're gonna give you the light. We're gonna do a nice little flicker for a minute. I wonder if me being minute warning.
I mean, I'm sure it did, but me being a planner is what pushed me towards planning not a thing.
So I mean,
my family keeps, they're like, "Are you gonna start planning this thing?" No, I'm good.
No, because honestly, if it was my way, I would not want a video for the wedding. Like, I don't want one. I really don't. But Sarah wants one, so I have to like find somebody to do it, and so I just don't want one because I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not, because I think it's because I already have an idea. Like, I want to make a video series of like an actual like short film of us before it. So like I already have a ready idea that I want, because that's super unique, and I just don't care about the day. Like I'm not gonna.
My dad insists that we have a videographer for St. Patrick's Day, and then have them put together something that we play at the.
That'd be dope. Those are fun. Those are fun.
I've seen some stuff like that.
I think it'd be kind of cool.
People just shoot stuff the day of the actual day, and then when they have a party like months later, something like that, where they can invite more people. Or more people
that's what I'm saying. Like, the thing that I will be creating, we could easily play that as like a, hey, this is what we created, and it's like a story of, you know, because I think it's a unique way of like how
that's kind of cute.
How we met. I know it is cute. Like how we met, and then like, you know, just because we were planning on going like actually on site somewhere and get a really cool video shot and like photo session and stuff like that. And I don't know, like I want it different. So, but I think we need to hit a podcast for that. Like, what are the actual difference of it? And I feel like we're leaning towards more that production. So, but we're going to transition into, so I went to a bridal show yesterday down in St. Louis, and first they claim for it to be in like a high-end, like super long, or like there's a lot of vendors and stuff, which honestly there's like maybe 3 rows, and then half of the hall that they used was completely empty.
Wow.
And like
blank space.
Yeah, just complete, like it was just it was a straight negative space, just nothing. And then in the far end there was like a catwalk for the fashion show, which obviously that's well known, totally get it. You could see suits and dresses and all that, the newest whatever.
I'm not a fan.
I was a part of that, so I mean I'm used to it, as I did for Men's Warehouse. So nice. I'm used to that. But anyways, first off, what really threw me off was there was 4 spaces that was completely empty, and their name was there, but they weren't there. So obviously they didn't even show up, which that looks really bad. 4 vendors did not show up. And not only that, but it's just like, if you see them not showing up, you should probably just take their name down.
I would think so.
And then,
well, especially it's like, did they pay for that spot? And then
they did
they paid for it. So they paid for it, and then you left their card up to show that they still didn't come.
Yeah, and like I think as the director there, I think I would have done was taking the sign off and then taking that divider off and then allowed their neighbor to be like,
Absolutely.
hey, here's your space.
Yeah.
Like you can move it quickly because like there's a
You can't do that
like
though.
I mean like
it's so dicey at those.
The lucky ones to
it
get
didn't
more.
so it didn't start
Exactly.
Well-
You're gonna hear the complaining from other vendors.
okay. Well, so
Close one, B.
they so I had a friend that was actually there as a vendor, and there was one person or like the first off they didn't allow anybody in until 1:00. They forced everyone to show up at 10:00 to sign in and set up. So from 10 to 1, you had the time to
That is ridiculous.
get everything all set up. So there's plenty of time to like. There should be like a certain point where they like just lose their slot, and then you're just like, all right, we'll just fix it real quickly. If you want it, here it is. If it's not, still, I think they should have taken the sign out and then dividers to at least like make it seem like it was just extra space, but nobody booked it.
Yeah.
That would look better.
exactly.
But like when you have literally, it's like photography company, State Farm, this sweets place, and then like an empty spot for a photography
See,
company.
I was gonna say if you were
and then it was like, and then
if you were truly clever, what you would do is throw like 2 or 3 cocktail tables in there. Like it's a space for people who are carrying around
Yeah, which they had
7,000 sample sizes of cake, mimosas, all that stuff.
I mean,
that would be a smart.
So they
thing
had
to do.
they had a bar, and then they had an actual cafe place that was actually selling things
Yum.
too. And then of course you had like some caterers, like I think Championship or whatever they're called. It was there. A couple of catering place. There's another sweet place, but yeah, they were all there. But it just looked bad. There was like 4 people missing, and then there wasn't really much happening. They didn't have anything happening in the negative space. They could have done stuff with that, and I just feel like it was lackluster for it being apparently one of the biggest shows of the year, and as they claim, and I'm just like, and it was pretty upsetting. So then, which brings my question, which I've been trying to say multiple times, but nobody wants to hear it because obviously I guess I'm really taboo with it, is wedding shows, are they just obsolete now? Like, are they even worth anything now? Like, are they even worth anybody's time? Like, besides, of course, people trying to figure out like a beginning start of it. But is it just, even then, like the normally time when people went to the bridal shows, they went there for the deals and tried to capture as much saving, that they could get. But at the same time, though, if companies are not even putting their effort in it, why do potential clients and couples, why would they?
Well, I
'cause
mean,
they pay to go.
Yeah. There are obviously pros and cons to everything you do, but I mean, yes, you usually can find some decent deals if you are really truly like, if you have maybe researched a company in the past and you're like, okay, I really have had my eye on them, I like their stuff, and then you go there and they're doing $500 off that package I'm looking at, which is also great, and there's a person standing here where I can ask them every single question I have and not have to go through email and the phone calls and blah 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 blah. You can do all those things at a bridal show. I think there are not quite as many people that really will do all those things I just said. I think there's a lot of people that go there for free stuff, like samples and giveaways and all that stuff, or just to take their posse along and say that they did something bride-esque with mimosas. I think there's a lot of people go for different reasons, and not a lot of them go for the right reasons.
So my thing is, which I'm surprised they're not even doing this, is let's flip it. Let's change the whole event. Instead of a show, what would the outcome be if you make it more of like a night event where they go and when they buy the ticket, you automatically get, like drink tokens, and you also get like there's food where you could actually eat, like finger food and stuff like that, and it's more of like a kind of networking feel where you still talk to the companies and there are people there, and they give off the $500 off here, or you go for this drawing and you could win a honeymoon or whatever. But it's more of like a night event where there's like a actual singular DJ or like a DJ or somebody that's playing some sort of music, and it's more of like a night feel
I think
outing.
you're basically describing a tasting at some venues. You know, if so, the problem with that is that a lot of those tastings are for couples that have literally already booked that venue, which to me doesn't make a lot of sense. Why are you wasting? I mean, wasting quote unquote. But you know, if you're a venue, why are you spending this money to wow the people that you've already kind of booked? You know, I think it could be a good idea to go a little bit more in the direction of what you're saying.
I was thinking more like I get that there's the open house, the open house for like, you know, Limp and Washington and all of that.
Yeah,
that's fine. But this is more of like a universal one where you have it at like at a convention hall or like whatever it is, at a mainly like a hotel or something, more just kind of universal where it's not targeting like Windows on Washington or Neo Locus or anything like that. But you have it at a place where it's just a nice neutral ground, but then have people that are there where it's more casual as opposed to boothy of like here's our flyer.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to say that would work, but you know,
that's what I'm saying.
Companies
like, I don't,
can be feisty.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they are, and
they're
I've seen a lot of
feisty
drama.
even when they paid for a cubicle and know exactly where their stuff belongs.
No, yeah, and I feel it's just I've been on both sides of it now, and I've never seen any sorts of good for it.
Yeah,
and I've nothing comes out, and then every single time when you do go to one of these events, anybody that goes expects some sort of discount, which I mean that's fine, but it's like I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not what it's for.
I think to be fair, you being on both sides of it really probably makes it seem that much less enthusiastic for you. But like for somebody that's not in the industry and really literally has nowhere to start, like,
well, yeah,
it's an easy place to quickly compare several things in, you know, and learn a lot of information about them at the same time.
Well, it's like the only problem that I have though is you have some of these people that come in, and there was one person that was like, because we went there originally because Sarah wanted to look at these calligraphy person that she does like calligraphy art, and then they also have like a press machine and stuff. And so we originally just went there for just that. As I'm doing that, I was hearing like a conversation happening where there was this girl that went to like 7 or 8 wedding shows already.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like, I just don't know. She's like, I'm just trying to figure out the best deal I could find, and like, and just like, and everything like that. And
surely start spending hundreds on tickets.
And I'm just like, I just don't. No,
that's a person that really needs only 2 options and has given herself 50, and that's not a good idea. And
I feel like it's like literally one extreme to the next. It's like
absolutely.
You have the one people that have no idea what to do, and so that makes sense. You go to one, you kind of see like, okay, so obviously I need a photographer, I need a videographer, I need a caterer. There's some flower people. There's a dude for finance if you really want to do finance, whatever it is. Like you have Men's Warehouse, you have David's Bridal normally, you have Savvy where you have all of that option. So it's like, yeah, you get some good options to do whatever, but it's just at the same time, I never really. What really just threw me off was immediately when I saw there was 4 people that didn't show as a business wise. It just looked so bad, and immediately I was just like, obviously not even the companies are taking effort.
I can say maybe the solution is, and this is coming from I was working at a real estate investment company, and they had something where they had like once a month, it was on a Thursday night or on a Friday night, consistent every single time of the month, that they would have almost like a vendor networking event. And essentially it was kind of what you were envisioning or describing, where as opposed to like, okay, you go out and you kind of like talk to the individual booths there, you had people of all types of like you pick the wedding industry. Okay, cool. You get your vendors there, that's great. Maybe they have a little space for some of the showcase, and that's awesome. But then maybe the main focal point of the night, like, okay, at 6 o'clock, doors open, mingle for 2 hours. 8 o'clock, we've got a speaker. We've got someone with a presentation. We bring in someone like Abby or a coordinator that's just like, okay, here's in my experience, this is your perfect timeline here. Get in contact with these wedding vendors here that will take care of you, and this is how you should do it. And then people get like info about it outright from somebody who would know something. That's your presenter is that focal point of the night. So it draws people in, gets people to network with everyone, vendors to network to, and that way you have something for people to actually go for. Vendors, you can do your discount. That's great. But then like people keep them sticking around for that like presenter or whoever to have like maybe more of that casual flow versus like job fair, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to say. And like they actually have that for the wedding industry now, as if you're a part of like the knot or something like that, not actually like they allow vendors to have like a social netting night where it's literally only vendors and they like collab together. They kind of go through things. They go through like what helps, what doesn't help, what does, you know, pros and cons and things. And so like they're already doing it with the vendors. Why can't they just add potential prospects?
Right. I mean, still have you know, like people who are engaged come in, get an idea of it, you know, and
because that's exactly what happened. It was a couple of years back. We went. It was at this, you know, just a nice neutral venue place. We went up. There was hors d'oeuvres, drinks. There was kind of like a night out, and you were just sitting there talking to literally everybody, and it was a cool experience. But everybody was sitting here like, man, we wish we had some couples here so that's so we could like actually talk to them and like kind of just do that type of whatever. And it kind of gives it more of a personal taste as opposed to like a salesy pitch of like,
well, let me ask
book
you
us
this.
now.
You went to the bridal show. You and Sarah both went to see a vendor that you liked and you researched. Did you gain more information about that vendor?
We just she wanted just to meet them personally.
Right.
So, I mean, like, we did, but...
did it go well?
I mean, yeah, it went well.
Are you going to book her?
Probably not.
Really? Why?
Because we have an artist that does the same thing. We are fans of her, but it was more of, we wanted to see options and we could literally get the same thing with this person. So we were just kind of comparing the two. So...
That makes sense.
We wanted
That's
to,
fair.
because the other one, the only reason why we're like, we want to see her in person is because we want to compare the physical aspect of it.
Gotcha.
Because like I told you, I want to get really into the multi-sensory of everything. Yeah. And so when I send out the invites, I want to make sure that the press has like a proper like feel to them. And so I like the one better over there.
You guys, I cannot wait to see your event.
It's going to be insane.
It's going to be wild.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, you put a lot of thought into
I'm
this.
having a lot of thought. There's also there's an idea.
And I put 0.
There's a lot of things that I'm doing as well. Just real quick, because I don't want to go too far into it, but I just came up with ideas for our centerpieces, and the smell that we're kind of going for is because, like I said, it's foresty / like kind of Lord of the Rings feel. So we're actually finding sticks that actually have like kind of like a piney smell. So it has like a woodsy smell to it. So we're going to interpret that into the centerpiece, but also individually on each centerpiece, I'm going to interpret dry ice. So that's how when everybody walks in, there's literally going to be just these nice fog haze just all over the place, and have this cool sound design to make it sound like it's a very whimsical, just moody feel. So yeah, it's...
Who's your coordinator?
Myself. No, I'm just joking. Of course you.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm laying everything out for you, and then you just
you
make
gotta
sure,
take care of the dry ice.
You gotta be kidding me.
make sure everything's all good.
Oh,
you know?
no.
No, it's...
Make sure you wear gloves.
I'm not going to be like, here it is, do it. It's like, hey, here's my ideas. You tag with me, and then, you know, you get credit for it. Like, and then you show people this is what you do. So I don't see a problem with that.
Oh my goodness.
Fog venue, that's cool, right?
So-
Throw that up on the
Fog
socials.
venue.
That's all right.
You have to check with your
So-
venue because.
Well, I'm doing a tent. So.
Oh, that's right.
check.
Creative
That'll be
all
cool.
around.
That'll be cool until the entire tent is full of smoke.
It's just dry ice.
Yeah, I know it'll go
evaporates.
away.
It's-
You're not gonna hotbox everybody.
Yeah, did you hear? Oh no! Did you hear about the bride that drugged her entire
I did
Hello?
not.
reception?
Hello.
Let's do this draminess.
It's intense.
What happened?
Surely not local. Surely that's not local.
No, I don't think it is. She was like a late 40s, early 50s bride, and she worked with her caterer who went with her on this,
Okay.
and they put marijuana in the olive oil.
Oh, so they infused it.
And they infused it into the olive oil that went on the pasta.
What?
And guests started freaking out and didn't know that they were drugged. Like they had no idea. And they called 911. And
Jeez.
a guy had to get like his heart checked. And they were all like paranoid. It was,
Jeez.
yeah.
They didn't
They've
even
been
tell 'em?
arrested, obviously.
They
her
didn't
and
tell 'em?
Clearly.
they didn't tell him a thing. The groom didn't even know. And they thought, she said it was supposed to be a gift to her guests.
That's awesome.
She thought it was going to be
Wow.
amazing.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, it's an experience you won't forget.
Wow. That's
I mean,
Jokes aside, that's awful. That's
somebody was
awful.
saying like, for real, you know, I know everybody's like, okay, you know, weed's not that, you know, it's not going to kill anybody. But
No.
like,
I mean,
what if they work at a job where they can't smoke and they get immediately drug tested that
honestly,
week? Like, what a nightmare.
I mean, obviously, there's a you got drugged without knowing.
Yeah,
So
I
obviously,
would hope there's a
like,
leniency, but also
there's-
it's like if you're a driver,
you know,
okay, you still can't drive.
yeah,
anyways.
that's
Wild.
insane.
I know.
But
I think we can all agree that's dumb.
Yeah,
the-
Don't do that.
We do not.
Don't do
We
that.
do not
Nobody-
condone that.
you wouldn't think anybody,
Do
was,
not drug your
especially a
guests.
caterer,
So
would
we-
be smart enough to do something like that. But here we are.
We do not condone that
No.
or say that.
Oh my gosh.
So, anyways, so we're gonna transition into something fun. This is gonna be wrapping up our
Yeah.
awesome.
Good luck.
I'll do my
Tristan.
best.
So we're going to be doing ties trivia, and
TT.
like I said, Gabby is right now undefeated, even though it's by herself. But hey, like it's
The
still
challenger.
worth it. So,
Challenger.
but I have 10 questions. We're
Oh,
going to do
dang.
we're going to do 10 questions. They literally
How
are
fast can
very
I look them up?
they're very
Face down, Tristan.
My mom's
to,
asking
like-
what I want from Mellow Mushroom.
easy to like medium-ish to hard-ish.
Okay.
And so there's a nice good variety. So actually, can you grab those sticky notes? Because I was gonna use the phone, but then after he said that, I was like, no, I don't want any. I want fair play, fair play. So here's that. There's that.
Thanks.
Here's a pen. Here's a pen.
Thanks.
So what we're gonna do is you're gonna write down your answer. Remember, there's 10 of them, so try to give you some space. So there's 10 of them,
Make sure your pen works.
and we're gonna do it. And we're gonna do it just one by one. I'm not gonna do all 10 of them and then read out whatever, unless you guys want to do that. But I don't think so. Alrighty. Sorry about this, guys. We're gonna just try to find pens real fast. So yeah, but there's 10 of them.
All right,
We'll see who's gonna take the
I'm ready.
note. I just want to make sure his pen works. All right, so like I said, it's gonna be very easy to.
Should I leave a lot of space for more than like a one-word answer?
Well, I mean, like
20
like I
total
like I
space.
said, we're gonna do them one by one, so you don't have to like number them if you
Perfect.
don't need to. So first question is, what is the most popular day for weddings in the U.S.? What is the most popular
Day of the week, I assume we're talking about.
Yeah, what is the most
Oh.
popular day for weddings in the U.S.? So is it a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday? Tell me when you're both.
I feel like
locking
this
in.
might be a trick question, but I'm gonna go with my gut.
What is the most popular? That's not really a trick question. So I'm just gonna be honest with you.
You said we're going easy, so I'm
So,
gonna
then
assume-
also this is
Okay.
actually this has been updated March 22nd of this year. So these are completely updated to like
Perfect.
the newest whatever. These are not.
Alright.
This is not like an old site or anything. Okay, so we're gonna You guys have those locked in, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Tristan, what did you put down?
I have Saturday.
Okay.
I also have Saturday.
You guys are both correct. So, you guys have
Let's
1
go.
point. All right. Second question. What is the color of a traditional Chinese wedding dress? What is the color of a traditional Chinese wedding dress? Tell me when you guys lock it in.
I am locked in.
Oh, putting some pressure on.
You coordinated? You seen a Chinese wedding before?
Maybe.
I mean, have you not seen Mulan? I don't know.
What was she wearing in Mulan? At the end of the movie, they didn't get married in Mulan.
I don't think she got
I
married.
don't know. I don't know if she did or
She
not.
sure did.
I don't know if she did or not, but
She went on a lot of dates.
She
and
met
didn't
Shang
get
at the
anywhere.
very end under the blossoms, on the cherry blossoms. She did
girl
not
is fighting for.
It's a good song.
It is. Alrighty.
No, that's not
Sure.
the song.
Are you guys locked in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Because you've went
Mhm.
quick.
Yes.
What do you think?
I've locked in on red.
Okay.
I have white.
Red is the answer.
Sure.
So we're 2-1. Oh man, this is insane.
Honestly,
Okay.
that was my gut answer. I was like, no way. It's,
All right.
It's gonna be that.
So
No.
this question, when it comes to these questions, it's whoever's the closest.
Oh.
Who gets it. How much does the average American wedding venue cost today? Wedding venue cost today.
Oh, that's so tricky.
How much does the average American wedding venue cost today?
Can I ask
That's
a question?
a lot of factors.
Yeah,
though.
I mean,
Is catering included in
no,
the
this is.
venue
Oh,
price?
I don't know. This just says wedding venue.
right.
So this is just the
Does
venue.
it look like catering is included in the price?
Well, that's tricky. Because then you gotta think Friday prices are different than Saturday prices. Weekday prices are
Only by
different
a
than
couple
Sunday.
thousand.
I
Though.
mean, at one place they priced it with also if it was on.
I mean,
If
well,
it,
I
let me
think
put
it
it
was
this way:
almost
double.
if it was a Saturday, it would probably cost this. But
Okay.
don't overthink it too much. I think that's what's happening is. How much does the average American wedding venue cost today?
Okay.
I wish they gave you like a general, because I feel like this is not the same for like Louisiana. I feel like, or like a Mississippi, well, whatever.
If we're going national average, I'm gonna play it safe
Okay.
in the middle.
Let's start with you. What do you think?
I've got $8,000.
Okay.
I went with $17,000, Bob.
Jeez. You're way over.
Okay.
He's actually closer with 2,000. It is actually 10,000.
Okay.
So we're back 2-2. Alrighty. Number 4. What is the most common wedding flower in the U.S.? What is the most common wedding flower in the U.S.?
I bet we've got the same answer.
I'm sure it only took 4 letters.
Roses.
Oh,
Oh.
letters for you, Rose.
Yes, Rose is correct.
I was like, I have 5.
So we're at 3 for 3.
Yeah.
All right. This might bring somebody in.
Question number 5. Let's go.
Question number
Tiebreaker.
5. What do it says, what do almost 100% of brides wish they have spent more money on for their wedding? What do almost 100% of brides wish they have spent more money on for their weddings? And if it's like kind of the
Okay.
basics of it, I'll give it to you because it's pretty generic. So
Man, I'm struggling on this one.
wish
Okay.
they have spent more money on for their wedding. Fun stuff.
Okay.
Alrighty. Locked in?
Yep.
All right. What do you got?
We've got decorations or decor.
Okay.
I went with catering.
Okay. They're saying the entertainment.
Okay. So I think we're both wrong.
Yeah, I guess.
Alrighty. Yeah, it was. I mean, that makes sense. I'm
Yeah.
assuming
The
like
answer
DJ
I want to
and
hear
stuff like
is
that.
videography, so I can raise my prices.
I mean, I don't know if that would. I don't know if that would be technically considered entertainment or not.
no,
but
it would
I think
not.
they're talking about guest interaction.
Yeah.
Anything guests.
So like fun
yes.
stuff to do.
More
yeah,
exactly.
Or maybe
Exactly.
more than just a DJ. You know.
Which brings back to the whole nightclub versus the production feel.
Yeah.
So How long does the average engagement last in the U.S.? So I'm assuming how long are they engaged before they get married?
Okay.
And it's in months, by the way, just letting you know. So, how long does the average engagement last in the U.S.? That's what I'm assuming they're talking about is what it is. And of course, closest wins. So, which I think honestly that the answer that they have is it makes sense.
I think I'm
Well, here's
spot
with
on.
that. How long are your engagements right
I'm not engaged.
now?
I mean, I'm in yeah.
Or like, how long will it have been? Before you.
Well, I mean, it's been
Less than a year.
Well, it's been July of last year, but we're not planning on doing anything until next year. So there's your answer.
4 years, baby. 4 years.
So I mean, if you do that in months,
I've got an
it's
answer.
well over a year. So
Anyway,
okay, what do you got?
I've got 10 months.
Okay.
I locked in on 18 months, Bob.
Oh man, you guys are so close to each other. I have to give it to Gabby, even though you went over. It's actually 15. It's 15 months, but you're only 3 months away.
Yeah, I'm fine.
So I'm gonna give it to you, even though you went over.
I'm down 1.
15 months, which that makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought
That's about right.
I thought maybe a year or some change.
It's usually
but
over a year because people get panicked about it.
Yeah. What takes the least amount of money for the big day? Like what type of planning or whatever it is? What takes the least amount of money for the big day? This is pretty generic as well. It could be.
I'm throwing this one, but I like my
It could
answer.
be. Yeah, it could be anything. It could be a
I'm
service. It
throwing
could
my
be
answer.
something you have to get for the wedding. What is, or
Alright.
what's the? Is it? Yeah. What takes the least amount of money for the big day? Which honestly makes sense because
I feel like I'm way off, but
I think once I say it, you're
it's
gonna
make
realize.
sense, but I
Yeah.
probably would never guess.
I don't
it.
have a real answer, but go ahead.
All right. What do you got?
Oh, I have saying thank you. Gratuities,
I think
priceless.
I think
Oh, so you're like keepsakes and stuff like that?
No, just saying thank you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I mean,
I wrote down decor, but I'd like to change it to travel, if that's okay. Transportation.
you could change it, but
They're
still
both
not.
incorrect.
Yeah.
What's the answer?
It's groom's attire.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
that makes sense because obviously,
Yeah.
I feel like that can't always be the case, but I see.
I get that, but I'm assuming it's because they just do a rental and it's literally like normally
$80
averaging like it's like $150 or something like that. It's chump change compared to everything else.
I don't know. Throwing dry cleaning, it's another 10, 15.
Well, if you do it men's warehouse, you don't have to worry about that, and I know for experience.
Hashtag not sponsored by
Yeah,
Men's Warehouse.
It's awful. I mean, yeah, don't. I'm blacklisted anyway, so you guys won't even like me anyways. So, so it's fine.
I think my real answer would have been his ring, or for a groom's
Transportation is the answer.
I feel like
Doesn't
yeah.
cost that much.
So,
Or
anyways,
flowers.
okay, number 8.
Oh, flowers, you getting
I don't know.
some cheap flowers somewhere? What do I not know?
I probably am.
How much does the average couple spend on a honeymoon?
Honeymoon.
Once again, closest takes the cake.
So you gotta think.
How
Are they
much?
gonna rent a car? Is it local?
How much
No,
does the
I'm not
average
going.
couple spends on a honeymoon?
I'm between two numbers.
These ones.
I think the number is going to be between my two numbers.
I like these. I like these a lot.
I think I feel safe with my answer right now.
See, I actually expected for you guys to be like,
I'm going to split the difference.
okay,
Mine's a safe number.
all right,
I've locked in on $4,000, Bob.
okay,
$4,000.
Oh,
and you guys are both correct.
it's
Whoa!
4,000 exactly.
$4,
All
4,000 exactly.
I went with I went with 5,000, and I was like, oh, 3,500 sounds about right. I'll just split the difference.
See,
Nope, you guys got it on the money.
Half of that's the resort stay.
Look at
and
that.
then-
You guys know exactly how much it
Nailed
is.
it.
Yep, how much average. That was good.
That's how much I would like to spend on my honeymoon to get what I would.
I'd like to spend less.
Number 9.
Yes.
Are we back to tied?
No, you're still up on one.
I've got 18 months on him.
Okay, so you're winning by 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's still up on.
This is one that we went through when you were with us. So now I actually have the percentage of it.
Let's go.
What percentage of American couples live together before marriage today? What percentage of American couples live together before marriage today? And of course, the closest.
I'm going with my first gut number.
Okay.
What's your gut number?
My gut number is 82%.
Whoa, that's a high number. I wrote down 67%.
He is close by only 3%. It is 85%.
Wow.
It was higher.
It's
Good for you.
85%. Yeah, it is.
Thank God. Thank God.
So obviously
That's
we
good,
were
yeah.
we were right on that subject
That's
with,
what
wow,
was
we are
people-
tied going into the final
last
question.
and it's perfect because I got the hardest one for you guys.
Oh God.
So we're
Yes.
gonna get
Alright.
it wrong,
Yes.
or one of us
All
will get
right.
it.
Yes. And then if you guys don't get this one, then I have
Can
to.
we get Jeopardy music going in the background?
I will put it in the
Thank
video.
you.
I
A
guess
copyright safe version, of course.
I will find a very on whatever. Okay,
Just game
so
show music, that's
and maybe people know. So
Get
okay,
it.
hold on. We'll do this.
Okay.
If you guys get it right, then you have to, because there's also a year. Whoever's closest in the
A
year,
bonus,
Tiebreaker?
bonus.
then
Yeah.
then we'll do that.
Tiebreaker question.
But if you guys both get it wrong, then
Oh
I have
my
to go
gosh.
on here and just start
Find another one.
doing one until you guys figure it out. So, okay. Here we go.
Hit it.
For the win. Who started the tradition of a white wedding dress?
Like what country?
No, like who?
The-
like the person.
Individual.
The individual who started the tradition of white wedding dress. And if you guys have no idea, I will give you this at least for a clue. It's a queen.
I actually was gonna go in that direction.
Started the tradition of a white dress. I know. I mean,
You know why? Because every British wedding is so, what is it, televised,
it's true.
talked about.
It's true. That's where well, also there's a podcast coming up that I want to talk about that of a situation like that. I feel like that one's gonna get really heated, which it's fine because
Ooh, spice it up.
I want
we
like
could
I
have
said,
drinks and make it extra heated.
yeah, that's gonna probably be one of our wedding banter ones.
I like it.
Okay, so what do you have?
Queen Elizabeth.
No,
All right.
I also have Queen Elizabeth the First.
That's,
No.
that's all I know.
it is
That's the only
Queen
queen I know.
Victoria
Oh,
in
yeah.
1840.
Ay, ay, ay.
So I have to now go.
I mean, that makes sense.
It does.
It's been a lot. It's been around a lot longer than Queen Elizabeth.
I'm sure. I just couldn't think of
I couldn't
any
think of
other
anything
British
either.
queens.
I can.
And I gotta find this site now again and figure out.
So the year that she did it in, or that was only if we
already
got
s-
it correct.
If we got it right, he would have said that, had us guess the year,
Yep.
which I probably would have been way off. I would have said
There we
something
go.
like
I think this is the
1400s
one I
or something.
used. Yeah, this is it. Okay, dokie. Let's see here.
Sorry, history professors.
Mm.
Much down today.
Yep. No, that's too easy. No, that's too hard. Here we go. We'll do a pop culture one. Do you guys know pop culture? Do you guys like pop culture
I'm down.
questions?
I'll try.
Okay. What 1998 wedding themed movie featured lead star Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore? What 1998 wedding themed movie featured lead star Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore? Of course, it's a wedding themed movie. Drew Barrymore.
I honestly don't know what the movie's called, but I know I can see it in my head.
Oh,
I'm
that's
100
upsetting.
I don't know.
Doesn't that suck?
Like I've seen it on TV,
and I'm gonna say it, and you're gonna be like, ah, damn it.
because I'm sure it's not as easy.
I believe
as the
I
answer.
have the correct.
But
answer.
if she has it, she takes the cake.
The wedding cake.
But remember, the
Anyway,
points do not
you
matter. So.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go and do yours first.
No. I want to do yours.
No, I want to do mine first.
Yeah.
The wedding singer.
The wedding singer.
I also have the wedding singer.
And you guys are both correct.
Oh, okay. It was that easy. I was just overthinking.
Yep. Good job. I gotta find another one. Great. Alrighty. What is the name of the movie based on two divorce meditators who crash weddings to find new love interest?
You say meditators?
That's what it has. And this is a typo because it definitely, that's what it says. This is meditators. So I'm just reading that. Basically, two divorced men who crash weddings. This is pretty easy.
Okay, this is not Wedding Crashers.
Okay.
Wedding Crashers.
Yep.
Okay.
It is. 100%. Yep. Oh,
The
boy.
two popular wedding movies that I know for sure.
Yeah.
Can't do that one because that's one we did. All right, we'll get dark here.
Excellent.
All righty.
Okay.
I think I know this percentage.
Yeah.
Yep.
We just talked about it.
This has to be. This is going to be the winner. This is it.
All
That's how we
right.
can cut it off
Here
and
we
call it
go.
done.
Okay.
All right. Okay. What percentage of U.S. weddings end in a divorce or separation? What percent of U.S. weddings end in a divorce or separation?
And it doesn't specify first marriages. It just says.
It just says. Actually, what it really says is, let's get this out of the way early. What percentage of U.S. weddings end in divorce or separation? It is a percentage. Closest takes it. Which I feel like this is interesting. It's an interesting percentage.
Because I know the national average has changed fairly recently, so
This is, like I said,
fairly
this is
confident in my guess.
March 22nd
Yeah.
of 2022. So I went with you first. So I'm going to go with you.
I am going to guess 68%.
Wow, that's high. Okay.
I have 62%.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna be mad if it's 64%.
No, it's
That's
actually
what my second guess
it's actually 50%.
Ah, 50%,
I thought it'd be a little
half and
higher.
half. So did I.
So
Because I know it's gone.
There's so
down.
many weddings happening.
yeah, but
Or maybe what I was thinking of was like the height of it, but I thought that was around 70%.
yeah, but as
Well,
of right now,
I'm a champion has fallen
Tristan has taken it. Sadly,
on a
Oh,
divorce question.
on a divorce question.
Damn
Jeez.
it!
So
Because no, my friends were literally talking about this the other day about
What
like
about
if
12?
if your first marriage, if you were in that 62% or the 50 whatever percent of it failing, subsequent marriages, like your percentage goes higher of divorce and separation.
Mhm.
it is really
Okay, sweet.
all right. Well, that takes it. Thank you guys so much for playing. First off, no, that's fine. But thank you guys for listening. We're gonna end this up. Definitely check out the other ones if you haven't listened to it, or you could watch us on YouTube because that'd be dope. We also have questions. I have a question on there saying what you want to listen to next. I also have a question about like if there's anything going on Spotify. If you have anything that's going on that you are struggling with or whatever, you can answer that question and we could definitely help
Let
you
us
out.
know. What do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also if there's something that like triggered you or wanted to say a comment or whatever like that, we would love to have that too. Because like I said, like we're going to go into a certain night where we're going to go more of a banter where we're going to probably, split some cocktails and just kind of go hard on a certain topic. And I feel like one of the topics should also be +1s, what they really are, because that was pretty fun.
So let's leave them with a related question. plus ones, yes or no? Or if you want to be more relevant for this episode, you can say, how soon do you get your timelines? Do you get it ready? Does your coordinator get ready? Does your photographer get it ready? How's that?
Why not? So, but thank you guys so much for listening. We are signing out. That was so stupid.
I almost did it.
Peace out.
All right.